One of the guys at the PMC placed this Fox News report in the Discord and said it perfectly. Fox News has gone full feminist. Because in this particular report, they complain about the backlog of rape kits. And why are they complaining? Because some woman, some uber human, got murdered by a man, and this rape kit proved that he was guilty. But the very reason why there's a backlog in the first place is because rape kits actually exonerate men more than it jails them. Here's an article. A rape kit that sat untested for decades, not years, decades, just exonerated a wrongfully convicted man. In this case, the crime that caused Rafael Ruiz to be wrongfully imprisoned for more than 2 decades happened on a roof in Manhattan housing project, 1984. The victim was sexually assaulted by 3 men, later led police to the apartment where Ruiz was staying around at the time of the attack. He served 25 years in prison before investigators tested the woman's sexual assault kit and discovered that Ruiz could not have been involved in the crime. And the reason why they waited 25 years is to make sure that that innocent man stayed behind bars for 25 years, and exposes that the criminal system doesn't care about a man's guilt or innocence. It just wants to put men behind bars. That's it. And this woman obviously didn't even know who assaulted her. I mean, how did that work out? She looked at a man who didn't do it and said it was him. Well, that's the way it usually works, right? So now Fox News, now that the woman has suffered, is going to pretend that this isn't the case. They're going to gaslight us and trying to shift the blame to somebody else.
A man accused of murdering a Memphis mother while she was out for a jog could have been...
Uh-oh. This is the ultimate crime. A pretty white woman was attacked by a black man. You know how that riles the men in the United States. They hate that.
Off the streets last year, and that mom might have still been alive today. That's all because of a different case and his DNA. Senior correspondent Laura Ingalls.
Look at this. Here she is looking angelic, and he's looking like a complete thug. This is shameless.
Here, she's got more on this for us. Laura, walk us through what exactly happened here.
You know, unfortunately, this is a story that we've talked about for a long time, and the story of the nation's backlog of untested rape kits is...
It's unfortunate that an uber human suffered when we were trying to get these innocent men.
Long one. The National Institute of Justice estimates there are hundreds of thousands of kits in America that are waiting to be processed right now. And
hundreds of thousands. Oh my God. That's incredible. How many innocent men are behind bars in the United States? It's staggering, the idea of it.
In the Eliza Fletcher case, it could turn out that her abduction and murder might have been prevented. 38-year-old Cleotha Henderson, we've been talking about him, was back in a Memphis courtroom this week facing aggravated rape and aggravated kidnapping charges in a case from September of 2021. Now, the DNA samples were added to a backlog of rape kits and were not tested until August 29th of this year. In a devastating twist, he was identified the same day Eliza Fletcher's body was found.
The only devastating twist here is that a woman suffered this time. No, the devastating twist is that the rape kit actually proved a man's guilt instead of innocence. That's what's devastating to them.
That story is not uncommon for the city of Memphis. It's just so glaringly obvious that there was just kind of a fundamental breakdown within the sex crimes unit.
Now, these photos.
This is more gaslighting. Look at all these rape kits, right, that haven't been checked. This is not a breakdown in the system. This is how the system operates. Because the simple fact is they're keeping them purposely to keep men in jail. That guy they showed that murdered the woman, he probably represents 1% or even less of these rape kits. The vast majority of these rape kits are probably going to prove a man's innocence. And that's why they backlog them like this.
Photos of the rape kit backlog in Memphis help illustrate just how many cases are sitting untested in police departments and crime lab storage facilities around the country. The average turnaround in Tennessee is roughly 30 to 49 weeks. And Memphis attorney Daniel Lofton, who represents 80 rape survivors who never had their sexual assault kits tested, filed a
Wow, what, they're not going to use #MeToo? Or that, or does that hashtag only work for false accusations? So he's talking about 80, but she said hundreds of thousands. So of course, that's why there's a backlog again. Because the women that suffer are a tiny minority to the vast majority of men that are innocent and get thrown behind bars, right? That's why I exist, because of these guys. This judicial system wouldn't dare look at that backlog and expose itself for what it is.
lawsuit against the city 8 years ago, citing what he called reckless infliction of emotional distress.
Discarding rape kits, allowing rape kits to be stockpiled, lost, destroyed in some cases. I mean, that was the ultimate insult to, what is more or less the ultimate injury.
Really? If it's the ultimate, I would say death is the ultimate injury, right? I mean...
And the final hearing on this lawsuit against the city is expected to be held next month, Sandra.
Laura, what do city and state leaders, what are they saying about this?
Right now, the city hasn't gotten back to us, and the Memphis police tell me that they cannot comment on ongoing litigation. However, Randy McNally, the lieutenant governor of Tennessee, tells Fox News Digital the backlog in rape kits has been a continuing problem and one that is extremely troubling, adding that
This guy has said nothing then. Know what's going to happen? Know why he said nothing? Because the fact is, they're going to keep things this way. And Fox News wants things kept this way too. Because there's no way they're going to look through all those rape kits quickly and have a bunch of men who've been wrongfully jailed exonerated and exposing the criminal justice system for its own criminality. So what's going to happen if when they get sued, they will pay the sue, they will pay the money, and then things will go right back to normal until the next uber human gets zapped.
Adding that the state is working to approve the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation's request for more hires for forensic positions, and he hopes that the wait periods will decrease dramatically once the positions are filled. And there's also the issue of unsubmitted rape kits, another complaint from victims seeking justice who are told that their kit hasn't even been turned over to a lab for processing. We've heard that.
You know what she's leaving out is that the victims are often male victims that were falsely accused. So Fox News is making it out that there's a bunch of women that have been raped, when actually it's the reverse. It's men who have been railroaded or languishing in jail when they don't belong there. They're the ones that this is how they, as the boys say, they lie by omission. They're not saying how it's men who are the ones that are begging for their rape kit to be checked so they can get out of jail.
That for years as well,
That's
too.
a huge problem, too. Geez. Laura, thank you very much for joining us on that important story.
Hi, everyone. I'm Brian Kilmeade. I want you to do.
There you go. So that's all we need to hear about that. And as you can see, this is typical feminist gaslighting. Some uber human gets zapped. Let's see if I can't find her face again. They have a system that is purposely made to put innocent men behind bars, and an uber human falls through the cracks. And then when it's exposed, they go and scapegoat the system, pretending that that's not what the system was all about in the first place. And again, they will not change the system. That backlog is going to remain, because there's no way the Memphis, city is going to expose the criminality of its own justice system. And like they said, the reason why this is getting so much is because a white woman was attacked by the evil black man. And that's an offense that cannot be allowed to stand. But it can be allowed to stand because if you see that, if they do actually do something about it, innocent men might actually be set free. And so they will put this woman on the sacrifice list to get the man. Remember, society is not about protecting the women, it's about get the man. Get the man. Thank you, everyone.